Hello everybody and welcome this evening to our Tutor to You revision live stream, where we're going to be revising the BTEC Tech Award component 3, and we're going to look at supporting you with your revision and your exam skills ready for your exam, which is next Tuesday. So I hope everybody's feeling ready. My name is Lynn and I'm going to be one of your facilitators. I'm joined by my colleague Laura. Hi Laura.
Hi everyone.
Hi. So between Laura and I, we're going to be taking you through some revision this evening. Please join in by writing what you think the answers are in the chat. Okay. It'll really help you if you try and participate as much as possible, and we can see how well you've been doing your revision, and we can also give you some feedback on your answers. So that can be really helpful if you write in the chat, because then we can see what some of your common mistakes or misconceptions might be. Okay. So shall we get started, Laura?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go.
Okay, let's go. So this evening we're going to be focusing on the discuss questions. Okay, so our discuss questions, they are worth 6 marks. You'll find that there are 2 of them in your paper. Okay, these are question 15 and question 18. And these are known as synoptic questions. That just means that you need to draw on your knowledge from component 1, 2, and 3 to kind of help you answer the question. Okay, don't worry about that too much, but you'll see 2 of these in your exam paper, and they are discuss questions. So the first question, question 15, will test your knowledge of how a person's circumstances could affect their ability to follow recommendations for improving health. Okay, so that's question 15. And then question 18 is how a person's circumstances could affect an area of their pie's development during a particular life stage. Okay, so you'll notice for both of those questions, they're asking about a person's circumstances, and you'll be able to draw that information from the case study information that's available for both of those questions. Okay, so to answer the questions, you'll need to give a logical, well-developed answer that considers a range of perspectives. Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along this evening. Think about these questions as writing a little mini essay. So you're going to do that twice in your exam paper, showing your knowledge from across your learning. Okay, so let's get stuck in, and we'll reflect on that a bit later at the end as well. Okay, Laura, can you take us through our first activity?
Absolutely. So we're going to have a go at a connection wall. So we're going to show you 16 key phrases, and these can be grouped into 4 groups of 4. And our groups are connections, our needs, wishes, circumstances, and life stages. So let's have a look. And can you place the phrases into the correct categories? Now, in the chat, I'm not expecting you to write out the whole lot. Maybe put needs and A1 if you think that one is, C2 if you think that one is, etc., etc. And let's see if you can get some of these.
Yeah, brilliant. So should we start with needs maybe? So should we get everyone to write in the chat?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, which of these do you think are needs? Who's going to be our first person to give us their thoughts?
Who's going to be brave?
Needs. Yeah, who's going to be brave? Start us off. We've already had Joe saying, come on, let's get started. So who's going to share with us? So which ones might be needs? We'll just take a minute to read them, shall we? Give people a chance.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a couple that pop out for me. Grace is the one that started us off, Laura. So Grace,
brilliant.
Okay, so she's gone for A1. She said that is a need, wants to socialize more. I'm wondering whether that might be more of something that somebody wants to do, like a wish, perhaps. I'm going to think about Amelia. I can just see. So Amelia's gone for A3. And she said reduce blood pressure. What do you think, Laura? Does that sound quite good?
Yeah, so something that they need to reduce their blood pressure. That's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, and Ellie's also. I was going to say, yeah. Ellie's also said A4 as well. Quit smoking. Yeah,
okay, so needs to quit smoking. Yeah, looks good.
Yeah. Any other needs? Shall we go with Amelia has said D2. Eat a healthy diet. I think that sounds good to me, doesn't it?
Yeah, needs to eat a healthier diet. Brilliant. And then Vanessa's come in as well with a couple. So D1 has a disability. Is that a need though? Think about the way it's worded.
Yeah, needs. It could be a need, wish, a circumstance, or a life stage. What about Ellie? Ellie has said drink less alcohol is a need. I think we've got them. Yeah. Shall we put up on the screen? Have we got those? They are our needs.
Brilliant. And guys, please do not worry. These are difficult. That's why we're going over them, okay? It can take some getting used to what is a need, what is a wish, and what is a circumstance. So please don't worry.
Yeah. And also needs are the type of things that you would pull out of a case study as well. They can help you sort of understand what contribute to somebody's circumstances. Okay, what about wishes? Can you tell us in the chat
let's have a look.
Are wishes so we already know that A1 is a wish. Somebody wants to socialize more. That's something that they kind of wish or want to do. What about other things? It might be maybe a preference or a like or dislike. Tell us in the chat what might be a wish. Give people a second.
Say who's going to be the quickest this time.
Grace is pretty quick on the chat. Okay, so Grace, absolutely, Grace, A1, and then Grace is saying D3. Yes, prefers a vegetarian diet.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just having a look now because they've all popped up at once. Let's have a look. So Lisa Lee is saying maybe C2, doesn't like public transport.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a preference, isn't it? You don't like.
Yeah.
And our last one is B1 from Dammy. Well done, Dammy. Yeah, excellent. Keen to get fitter. Something that their wishes.
Yeah,
so these are wishes.
There we go.
Okay, so I think this is straightforward now, isn't it? We just need to differentiate between circumstances and life stages. So can you tell me which ones are the circumstances about people that we need to consider?
That's a good way of thinking about it. Circumstances are what we need to consider if we're looking after this person or we're making a plan for this person. What do we need to take into account? What do we maybe need to tweak a plan? so that it fits that person.
Absolutely. So which ones do you think are circumstances? And I was going to say circumstances is a really important word, isn't it? Because it comes up twice. And once in question 15 for the considering the circumstances, and once in 18 for considering the circumstances. So Fahia has said D1 has a disability. Absolutely. That's someone's circumstances, isn't it? Something we need to consider.
Is it Ellen said B3, Aoife said B3, Tegan said B3, Ellie has. There's quite a lot of B3s. I think we definitely think that's one. Poor living conditions. Yeah, where they live, what is it like? What things maybe do they have or not have?
Yeah, brilliant. And Amani has said B2 has support. So whether or not somebody has support is super important, isn't it, in terms of their circumstances?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that must leave us with Crazy Mare, who said D4, works long hours. Absolutely. Yeah. So we can see. And then obviously you'll all be really confident in your life stages by now, I'm sure. So just bear in mind, when you're reading the case studies for question 15 and question 18, read the question case study at least twice and try and draw out of it that interesting information. And, you know, you might see sorts of the types of things that are reflected on the screen here that sort of give you a sense about what's going on for the person, what needs do they have, what kind of context do they live in. It's all really important things that you can use to develop your answers. And that's
remember,
what we're going to have.
You can take highlighters in, you can circle things, underline them, anything like that in your exam. Don't be afraid to do that to the case studies.
Yeah, really good idea. Really good point there. Yeah, absolutely, Laura. Okay, let's have a look then at our next activity. Yay!
Yeah, you get a round of applause.
Well done. So we're going to hone in now on question 15, okay? So the question will say how a person's circumstances, or give the person a name, could affect their ability to follow recommendations for improving health. So let's have a look at our first case study. So we have Jan here, who's 25 years old, and they have smoked cigarettes since they were 15. They work with others that smoke. They live on their own. They have a non-smoker girlfriend. They have a parent with lung disease, and they have been advised they need to quit smoking by their GP. So this is quite similar to a case study that you might see. It's giving you information that you need to draw on to be able to answer the question. Okay, so just take a minute just to take that in. Jan's 25, been smoking since they're 15, work with others that smoke, live on their own, their girlfriend's a non-smoker, and their parent has lung disease. Okay, and they've gone to see their GP about this. So let's have a look at our first question then. Bear those information in mind. We want 4 circumstances that will make it harder for Jan to quit smoking. So can you just pop us in the chat, even if it's just one circumstance, out of those things, which ones do you think would make it harder for Jan to quit smoking? And I think we've got a timer on this one. Let's take a look. Let's go. So what would you add into your answer for question 15 and develop into a nice, lovely sentence? Oh, we've got some answers. People straight away. We'll give people a chance to type.
Yeah, they're on it tonight.
They're really on it. I think they're feeling the pressure, Laura, of the exam next week. We've got so many people joined us tonight, so you can tell that the pressure's kicking in a little bit. So let's have a little look. Okay.
Shall I go through a couple?
Yeah, please do, Laura. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to go back up to the top. So Ellie has said, working with others who smoke because they'll be less motivated to stop smoking. Absolutely. If you've got people around you, it could be much harder for them. We have got, I'm just going through now, we've got a lot of that. Tegan has said long-time smoker, so maybe addicted. So there's maybe addiction there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Working with smokers. Right. Aoife has put, lives by herself, so she may not have anyone to encourage her while she's at home. Yeah, that's a really good one. So no support around.
Brilliant. No motivation, no support, lack of informal support. You could develop that to be, absolutely.
And I think I'm just going back through. I think that might be about
the main ones. I was just going to add a lot of
everyone said.
A lot of people have said, works with smokers, so they don't want to be left out. We could definitely use the term peer pressure there. So you might be experiencing peer pressure because the people around you smoke, might be quite difficult to give up. They might kind of, talk you out of it, really, because they like hanging out with you, smoking outside or what have you. You've got some addiction. So absolutely brilliant. Shall we have a look at what we came up with?
Absolutely.
And absolutely, Daniel said, smoking is bad. Don't do it, guys. Yeah, very sensible, Daniel. So absolutely, if you get any question about smoking, don't forget to say that nicotine is highly addictive, because that's like a really negative aspect of smoking, isn't it? That's one of the biggest problems, is that it's addictive, and therefore it can affect you considerably. So her circumstances, though, are that they've smoked for 10 years. So this is a habit. They may experience peer pressure to smoke. So absolutely, as you guys have said. And absolutely, I think it was Aoife said, they don't have support at home. So they're lacking that informal support. So when you're answering these questions, try and pull out as many things as you can. Maybe at least 4 would be good. Don't be stuck on 4, but just can I find, a good 4 things from the case study that I'm going to talk about and develop? Okay, because that can really help you then develop it into full sentences, talk about the impact on the person, being able to follow their health and wellbeing recommendations. Okay, so well done, excellent. Shall we? We've just got yay! Yay. And Laura, I think you're going to give us a few more tips as well about answering these questions when we go on to the next activity. So
yes,
let's have a look.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's have a look. What have we got now? Oh, okay. No, sorry. We're going to do the we're going to go and do the positive aspects here, aren't we? So we've looked at circumstances that will make it harder for Jan to quit smoking. And now I want you to tell me from the circumstances that will make it easier for Jan to quit smoking. So thinking about the case study again, what were the things in the case study that might make it easier to give up smoking? So what kind of things might motivate them? Let's have a little look. We've got 30 seconds. And we've already got some answers in the chat. I'm just going to read them.
Yeah, Alice and Ellie are doing great.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. And anybody give me anything about the GP, what the GP might be able to do as well, just while we're going through these. So I can see some really two key lines of thought, actually. One is about the fact that the girlfriend doesn't smoke, so therefore they can motivate. And say, please give up, it'd really help our relationship if you didn't smoke, those kind of things, it's not good for you. So the girlfriend not smoking can really be a positive factor. And then quite a lot about the fact that the parent has lung disease. So this can be quite motivating because she doesn't want to obviously get lung disease herself. She's worried about her mum. She's might also then be fearful of developing a lung disease or lung condition.
Because with that, I think if you read, everything's got side effects, but if you read them, you sort of go, well, that'll happen to someone else. That won't happen to me. If it's someone that you love and care about and you're seeing those long-term effects, it might actually shock you to go, actually, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to have that happen to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I've just got some amazing answers here, Laura, about the GP. So the GP
brilliant.
can offer advice about nicotine replacement therapy. Everybody seems to know that GP is a source of formal support. So that's excellent social care terminology there. The GP could give them leaflets on how to stop smoking, can tell them the side effects, nicotine replacement or alternatives. And then really good Pink Lemon Piggy, you have said such as nicotine patches or, prescribed medicine. Probably, go down the nicotine replacement therapy is probably a good thing to write. Dammy, lovely. He could be referred to a stop smoking service by a GP to help him. And our tutor to you support here has said cracking answers. They are cracking.
They are. You guys are doing brilliantly tonight. Well done.
Yes, I think we need another clap. I don't know if we can do the clap, but yeah, excellent. Oh, yeah, and then we got the horn as
Woo!
well. That's amazing. So absolutely, all the things that you've said. They've got a girlfriend who could support them. The girlfriend is a non-smoker who could give positive peer pressure, because remember, peer pressure can be positive and negative. The parent has lung disease, so this could be a big motivator, and they have professional support from their GP. So absolutely brilliant. All the things that you guys have said. So just make sure that you're giving lots of examples, yeah, not just talking about one line of thought, but you're giving lots of different circumstances and taking that out from the case study. Okay, so brilliant. Now, Laura, over to you for your
well,
yeah.
first of all, I just want to say thank you to Freya, who was doing a little party in the chat.
Love it,
Woo!
love it.
Yay, brilliant. We like that enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to have a look at something called Devil's Advocate exam question. So we're going to have a look at, so the same kind of question. So discuss how Jan's circumstances could affect their ability to quit smoking. And we're going to look at the two sides of the argument. So if we have a look at the first side. So I'm going to read this, and then as I'm reading it, think about what could your counter argument be. So think about that devil and angel on your shoulders idea. Okay, so Jan might find it very challenging to quit smoking because they have formed a habit of doing it over 10 years. In addition, nicotine is a highly addictive substance, so the body craves it, making it very hard to quit. Okay, so what could we say as a counter argument? So we could then move on and go, however, what do you guys think we could put here? So what could be something that's going to make it easier?
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to kind of give a balanced argument in your 6-mark discuss questions. Okay, you want to kind of try and focus on positives and negatives. So your answer might be a little bit more negative, but it's really important to also include a positive. Or if there's loads of positives, you still want to include a negative, don't you? So just get used to that. So we've got, yeah, absolutely, as Laura said, we've got some challenges here, haven't we? But what could be the flip side? So we've got why Jan is finding it very challenging to quit. But then Lisa Lee has said they could be really motivated to stop to prevent their parents' lung health getting worse. Sahara has said, I really like Sahara's actually, however, so a good kind of counter argument, the GP can offer formal support and offer nicotine replacement therapy to help with this. Love that, Sahara.
Nice.
That's excellent.
Yeah, brilliant.
We've also got, however, Jan has a support system from a non-smoker girlfriend who can motivate them to stop. They have a lot of support from girlfriends, so they've got lots of motivation. So like some excellent answers here, really. Yeah, so Jan may feel afraid to quit due to withdrawal symptoms, but the GP could give her nicotine patches and other alternatives and remind her of all the dangers. So yeah, brilliant. And then Razina has said seeing the parent have lung disease might make them worry that they might also be like that as they have been smoking for 10 years. So, I mean, excellent answers there. Yeah,
Fantastic.
should we show
Well done, guys. Yeah, let's have a look. So we said Jan does have, however, Jan does have professional support from their GP. The GP could prescribe nicotine replacement therapy to help with cravings and withdrawal from nicotine. The GP can also provide facts about the benefits of quitting and help Jan to structure an achievable plan.
Lovely. And look at all that nice health and social care terminology in there. Professional support, nicotine replacement therapy, and talking about planning, like coming up with a plan for someone. That's lovely, isn't it? Okay, I think we've got one more of these. Let's have a quick look.
So Jan is surrounded by other smokers, so may feel peer pressure to smoke. It will also be difficult to cut back if no one else is. Similarly, Jan may... sorry, let me start that one again. Similarly, can't get my words out today. Jan lives alone, so does not have support at home to keep them on track with their plan. On the other hand, so what could we put on the other hand to this one?
Yeah, brilliant. That's all kind of quite negative, isn't it? All the negative things that are going on for Jan. So what could we put on the other side to that? I mean, I think maybe some of those arguments might have already come up already. But
I think they might have done,
yeah. what sort of comes to, that's very much about peer pressure, negative peer pressure, isn't it? And it's all about lack of support. Amelia has put, she may feel worried about her mum developing lung disease. Yep. So on the therefore, yeah. How would you develop that a little bit further, Amelia? So she may feel worried about her mum developing lung disease. So therefore, maybe she could use more positive sources of support, perhaps. Yeah. So like Ellie said, on the other hand, the girlfriend could help her stop because she knows how much it affects someone. That's why she doesn't do it. It's positive peer pressure. Brilliant. And Crazy Mayor said, however, he can join a gym to improve his health and follow a healthy diet to take his girlfriend with him. Yeah, Crazy, I'd probably stick to the theme of smoking. That's the only thing to say. Make sure you talk about the theme very much that's in the question. That's the key thing to keep focused on. Millie's got, however, she could join support groups where she will meet new people who are in the same position and be able to support each other. Really like that, Millie. So you probably I'd be specific and say a stop smoking support group as well. Yeah. So let's have a look at our argument. Otherwise, I think we'll be here all evening reading these excellent responses.
So we said Jan could ask friends to also try quitting because it is easier to quit when you can encourage each other and have others to be accountable to. In addition, Jan could be motivated by their girlfriend being a non-smoker and by reducing their risk of lung disease, which Jan has seen a parent suffer with.
Excellent.
So you're linking in that fact about the parent as well.
Yeah, excellent. So try and give a balanced answer, okay, to when you're doing your 6 markers. So think, has everything I've written been negative? And then you need to try and put something more positive at the end, yeah? So think about the circumstances, things that are going to positively affect the person and things that are going to be negative, and keep focused on the question, which in this case was about smoking. Okay, let's carry on then. So we're now going to move. Oh, yeah, get your round of applause. We're now going to move on to question 18. Okay, some of the exam skills are very similar because you're still thinking about circumstances, but this question is very much about how a person's circumstances could affect an area of their pie's development during a particular life stage. So in your exam, it will tell you which area of development and it will tell you their life stage. Okay, so let's have a look at our case study for this one then. So this is question 18, and we have Doug, who's 85. He's a carer for his wife. He does not have any children. He can afford 1 or 2 holidays per year. He's a member of the golf club, and he's beginning to have some mobility issues. So you should be reading that case study and thinking, oh, okay, which things might be sort of more negatively impacting and which things might more positively impact, okay?
You can even put a little plus and a little minus next to them as you're reading them if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. As you're going through your case study, like you said earlier, Laura, you can be underlining things, you know. So yeah, poor Doug, I know. But then Freya, there are some positive things. He's got his holidays, and he's a member of the golf club. So bear all of these points in mind then. Carer, no children, can afford holidays, goes to the golf club, got mobility issues. So let's have a look. The first task is for you to give us 4, but just 1 is fine. Give us 4 circumstances that will worsen Doug's social well-being in later adulthood. So the PIE's area development here is social well-being. So I only want your answers to relate to social well-being and in later adulthood. So think about Doug at that life stage. Okay, let's get our clock going.
Oh, we've got lots of good answers coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. Freya started us off by saying poor Doug, and then Freya said, so what's going to worsen his social well-being? Yeah, I'm starting to see a similar theme, which is great. Okay, Laura, what can you see? Start us off.
So we've got Al has said carer for his wife, so can't go out as much because he's busy doing that, which a couple of people again have agreed with. Ellie has put no kids means less stress. I would like to think that would help his social well-being in terms of the less stress, but
So that might be
yeah,
later on. Yeah, might come to that later on.
We'll put a pin in that one.
Yeah.
So we've got having mobility difficulties, meaning it might be harder for him to look after his wife, which then means he can't socialize if he's unable to move about.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got, again, mobility issues, not at work, so doesn't see colleagues or people as much. So the fact that he's retired.
Yeah, so absolutely taking into account his life stage. That's really sensible. That's really good.
That shows your knowledge, because you've been able to go, okay, later adulthood, so will have retired, so isn't doing this.
Brilliant. Should we have a look at our answers? They're very
Yeah,
similar.
we've got lots of really good ones.
Little look, very similar. We've got his caring responsibilities. He might not be able to go out and socialize, doesn't have any children, so therefore might not have any support network through them, so that informal source of support. He's a carer, so therefore he could be quite lonely and isolated. So remember your words if you're talking about social isolation or loneliness, can relate really well to social well-being. And his mobility issues. So therefore he might find it difficult to go to the golf club and go golfing, which is quite a physical thing. So he's going to lose social connections there. So excellent. Okay, brilliant, guys. So let's do on the flip side now. And we're going to, yay. So thinking about your case study again, just have another quick look at it. And we're going to be thinking about circumstances that could help improve the social well-being. Okay, so what is it about Doug's circumstances that will improve? Let's take 30 seconds for some positive answers, so that when we've got that nice balanced response, haven't we? So you've talked about the more negative circumstances, which is brilliant. Can we pull out any positive things?
Ellie's got a good one straight away.
Yeah, brilliant. Aoife as well. Yeah, so we've got, Ellie straight in, I think, with a really sensible answer. Being in a golf club means he gets to see his friends. Yeah, so you could talk about it's a golf club. He might go there regularly. So remember to develop your answers a little bit. That's really good. He'd be able to spend time on holiday. He might make friends around the world, Tegan. Yeah, it might give him some connections, mightn't it?
Absolutely.
Yes, as he's got... Oh, yeah, go on.
Oh, go on, sorry.
No, you
I
go.
was just going to say, someone's put one, however, it's just disappeared about... Oh, I found it. Zainab said, looking after his wife means he gets to spend more time with his wife.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's nice. And I guess he's got that sort of, I was going to say quite a supportive relationship, maybe they're a loving relationship with her, which would make him feel secure, wouldn't it? So remember, everybody's very much following up those.
Holiday.
And I quite like the one that's just come in. He's involved in community participation, which will help him feel socially included and able to socialise some more. Should we have a look what we've got?
Yeah, that one's great.
Yeah, some excellent answers tonight. So brilliant. Something that hasn't come up actually is Doug could consider joining a carers group, because remember, if you do have people that are carers, there's often support out there for people, so they could join a carers group and make new friends with others that are in a similar situation, even if that was just virtually. Doug can still attend the golf club even if he only socializes rather than plays, so he could still go down for like social or lunches or things like that maybe. He could ask for formal support from social care and informal support from his neighbours. And Doug and his wife can make friends on holiday. So excellent. Well done, everyone. So I think we've got our devil's advocate here. So maybe, Laura, if you just talk us through these ones.
Yeah, so let's have a look at the first side to our argument. Okay, so Doug may be limited in his opportunities to go out and socialise because he is responsible for his wife's care. This could be quite an isolation experience in a life stage that we know is linked to increased loneliness. Doug doesn't have children, so may lack support, worsening his situation. And then if we have a look on the flip side. Doug could be entitled to support from adult social care. Perhaps a domiciliary carer could visit daily, or Doug could get respite, which is a break from his usual caring duties. This could make Doug feel more supported and less alone and give him the chance to get out more. So you can see how we've taken one argument and then we've gone, actually, this could help. And we could do this maybe that might have some positives.
Yeah, and I quite like this answer because it's been thought about quite deeply in terms of his situation. So just a little tip here, when you're giving your answers to your 6 markers, although some of it might seem quite simple on the face of it, really try and dig down and expand your answers. Make sure you're using your health and social care terminology. Make sure you're filling all the space that's available for you to write in. Like, tell the examiner as much as possible. That's really important, okay? So develop your answers as much as possible. And Ilaria has just said
a question. Oh,
yeah, what's domiciliary care again? So Ilaria, domiciliary care is care in the home. Okay, so carers might go into their home and provide care, like personal care, for example. So domiciliary care is anybody that goes to somebody's home to give care, okay, rather than in a hospital.
It might be that they can go in and do something so that maybe Doug can go out for a little bit, or so that Doug can go and do the shopping. And also having a carer go in every day might also give Doug someone else to talk to.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sahara's just asked a really sensible question. She said, for a 6 marker, do you just write 1 point and 1 counterpoint like on the screen? Sahara, I would try and recommend you could do quite a few of these. Yeah, so see if you can fit in. You might kind of do like maybe 3 negative things that you pull from the case study and then 1 big counterpoint at the end, maybe. So just try and think, of all the things that are in the case study, can I try and talk about all of them? And normally, if you have a look from your practice papers that you've got and you look at the case study, there's normally sort of between 3 and 5 sort of key things you can pull out. So whatever you can pull out, try and talk about them, but try and get something positive or negative in as a balance. Yeah, you just want to make sure you've got a balance in your argument, because that will help you reach the top mark band. Because again, if you look at the mark bands on the mark schemes for these, it talks about, you know, having that sort of that balance discussion. So that's would help you get more like your 5s and your 6s in your marks. Okay, so
These
yeah,
are
Sahara,
also
try and, you know, pull out as many things as possible.
I was just going to say, these
Sorry,
are
go on,
also the
Laura.
ones that if you finish early, these are the ones I'd go back to and see if you can add some more in. Add an extra point in if you felt like it was rushed. And if you need extra paper, pop your hand up and ask the invigilators for extra paper and just make sure your name's on it and your candidate number. Because these are the questions where you could potentially go back and add a bit more and get a couple of extra marks.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And remember, relate what you're doing to the case study, relate it to the question, and give a balanced argument. Okay, that's really important. Try not to just rewrite the case study, okay, because the examiners will be onto you for that. So you've really kind of got to interpret what's in the case study. Really try and do that, okay? So well done, everybody. So I think, have we got one more example? Yeah, so here's another example, just one here. We've got, yeah, go on, Laura, just quickly talk us through this one, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course. So we've got Doug may find that he can no longer play golf due to his mobility issues and caring duties. So he may no longer attend and meet friends or new people. He could feel excluded from golf because he's becoming too old. On the other hand, Doug could still go and socialise at the club even if he doesn't play. Or perhaps he could use a golf cart or mobility scooter so he can still join in, which will give him a sense of belonging. His golf club friends could also provide informal support to Doug, making him feel connected. Because I don't know if any of you have been to a golf club, a golf course, but they're very big. So a lot of the time, the mobility issues for Doug could be just the getting from one area to the next. Well, if you've got those mobility scooters or the golf carts, you're taking that problem out of the situation.
Yeah, and
So
I was just going to say, Laura, actually, sometimes when you see something in a scenario or in a case study, it might seem like a negative, but you might be able to overcome it as well. So that's something that you could think about. And just before we go, just want to ask the questions that have come up in the chat. Pink, Lemon, Piggy. So 3 positives and 3 negatives. I don't think you need to be like that clear cut. I think go with what's in the case study, okay? But try and have something that you've got, have a variety, okay? So it doesn't really matter if you've got like 4 negatives and 1 positive, but just make sure you've got a variety, okay? And Millie said, how do you think we should time for it? Because I write very slow due to issues with my hand. Do you recommend doing the 6 markers first? Millie, I think it works out about 2 minutes per mark, I think I'm right in saying that. So you've got about 12 minutes. Oh yeah, Tutor to You have just come in and given us that. Yeah, absolutely what I was saying. 2 minutes per mark. So you've got 12 minutes, Millie, on those. So give yourself about that. You might find that you answer some of the 1 markers and the 2 markers a bit quicker. So in reality, Millie, you probably got about 15 minutes probably for your longer ones, okay? I would probably recommend just doing the paper as it is, because the questions, some of them will build on each other. So I probably would say just work your way through the paper. That would be my advice, because also they increase in difficulty. So if you've got some exam nerves and you're a bit worried, you can gain confidence as you go through the easier sort of questions that tend to be at the beginning. Okay, so just work your way through. Yeah, definitely. Is there a link to the PowerPoint? Yes, you'll be able to get access to them.
Tutor to You have just popped that on there.
Yeah, and it's a 2-hour exam. Okay, so you'll be able to access these. Any other questions anybody quickly wants to ask before we go? I think I just want to say a big good luck to everybody. And just, take your time, believe in yourselves. I'm sure you've done your revision. If you've missed we've done 2 previous ones of these around doing the factors and the life events and the physiological indicators and those types of questions as well. We've looked at the shorter answer questions and the longer ones. So you can access the previous ones as well in your revision. Okay, so do access that. If you hit on the Tutor to You website, you'll be able to find quite a few resources to be able to support you with your revision. There's also a walkthrough of the component 3 exam, which I really recommend you look at, because that talks about different types of questions. Okay, so yeah, access the Tutor to You page, have a good look round, and you'll be able to access, Tegan, all the PowerPoints that we've done so far. Okay, clicking on that link.
Have a look on the Instagram.
So well done, everybody.
Pages.
Yes, because we're doing daily revision questions. So if you follow Tutor to You on Instagram, Tutor to You Health and Social Care, you will be able to be doing our revision questions as well. Okay, and they'll just pop up on your feed, which can be really helpful. Okay, so
yes,
best
Amelia,
of luck.
This one is the last one.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the last one. So very best of luck, and
good luck,
go out there and smash it, guys. Thanks,
good
everyone. See you.